Good morning, card readers. RJ back with another video. Let's get to it. A little bit of sidetrack for the moment. Let's acknowledge the day. Today is Monday, May the 29th, and that is Memorial Day. So I hope you're all taking some time to spend time with your family, friends, and loved ones as you are apt to do, and enjoying the day. Let us always remember the purpose of your free day away from work today too. It's to not to honor veterans per se, but to honor those men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice so we can be free in this nation. So I will be attending the parade this morning. Always do that when I can locally. So just a nod to Memorial Day. Thanks to everybody. Now, let's get to the business at hand. Like always, it is a day for showing off a random Mike Schmidt item. A random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Unique kind of an item. This is a product from a random insert within the 2005 Upper Deck SP Legendary Cuts product. It is in fact a buyback, believe it or not. This is the 2004 Upper Deck SP Legendary Cut base card of Mike Schmidt. However, I guess they had some extras lying around. They put this little holographic sticker on its back with a number, and they had him sign 20 of these cards. I'm a little upset because the signature got muffed. It looks like somehow some of the ink got blotted off. It's not smeared, but there's a loss of ink in the Mike and the S part of his signature. It's 5 of 20, so they only had 20 of these random, limited auto buybacks. So it's interesting that it was a card from the previous year's product that they inserted autographed in the following year's product. Just an interesting side note. It came with this here certificate that says what happened. So that is my random baseball item of the day. My random, that is my random Mike Schmidt item of the day. My random baseball item of the day, also a Mike Schmidt collectible. You'll see a pattern building here. This is my 1989 starting lineup figurine. There are 4 starting lineup figurines issued with Mike Schmidt in them. I have all 4 in the boxes. There was another one of those Stadium Club style ones of Mike Schmidt where he's like on top of a stadium. I thought about, this one came in a collection I got. I didn't necessarily want it per se, but it came in a collection I got. It's interesting. You usually don't take these out, but the body pivots, and I think the bat, like the hands, are not necessarily attached to the bat because they slide up and down. If he wants to choke up on the bat, he can, so to speak. But I thought about, since starting lineups are so cheap, getting second versions that I could open up and display on a shelf somewhere. I was wondering if I should do that. Because again, I didn't buy this one to take it out of the package. I got an extra one in a collection. So anyway, that is my random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Today's trivia question. May the 29th, 1989, Mike Schmidt retired from baseball. He made the announcement. Where was he when he made the announcement? So in other words, what city? He came to this decision on the road. So he was actually in a visiting town when he made that announcement. Email me the correct answer. In what town was Mike Schmidt when he announced his retirement? My email will be in the description below, along with a repeat of the question. You'll have today and tomorrow to answer. And you are playing for this 1988 score highlights card, and it is highlighting that Mike hit his 500th career home run. It is the 657th card base of the base set of 660 from 1988 score. So that is your prize on that. All right, now it is May the 29th this year, and May the 29th, the anniversary of Mike Schmidt's retirement day, is the day I have set aside in the past to go through my Mike Schmidt PSA basic set registry. got involved in that PSA set registry thanks to Ray from Philly. Shout out to Ray. I will include a link to his channel below. He has many times shown off his Mike Schmidt PSA collection. In fact, I will link to one of his videos where he shows off his PSA set registry in the past. So anyway, he used to have a showcase on Mike's birthday in September. I didn't see him do it last year. Maybe he's just stopped doing it. But I'm going to keep going because it's a fun thing to show off annually once a year, and to be proud of something I've put together. The basic set registry for Mr. Schmidt is different from the basic tops set registry. If you follow Ray from Philly, he's doing a basic tops registry of various Hall of Fame players. He's got several now, and he collects a base tops card from every year that player had a base card in a tops set. At the moment, he's working on a Willie McCovey set. Now, the basic registry, not the basic tops set registry, the basic set registry for PSA for Mike Schmidt includes 47 cards. Those are the base cards from all of the companies that produced cards during Mike's career. So I will show off all of my 47 cards that are part of that registry here. Bear with me. I think it's fun. Hope you enjoy it. So theoretically, this is not a card during his playing career, but the PSA set registry did include these two cards that honored Schmidt after his retirement. 1990 Upper Deck. The card, it's actually card number 20. I'm sure that was done specifically for Mike's uniform number. This is card number 20 in the 1990 Upper Deck release, and it is a PSA 10. Every card I have in my basic set registry from 1980 on is a PSA 10. I was able to I made a point of doing that because the cost was, doable for me. So it's a very pretty card. I do love the Vernon Wells artwork. So that's my PSA set registry, the final one, so to speak, in the set, in the PSA set registry for Schmidt. The other one that came out in 1990 was the Donruss card. Many people have seen this. Donruss had an all-time greats card in the 1990 release, dedicated to Michael Jack. Has his career stats, something I really, really like. When I can get a card of career stats of a Hall of Famer, I really appreciate that. This does have some variations. If you're a super collector, has to do with the copyright date and the number of asterisks around the words denotes under the lead league. So this is the 1990 Donruss in a PSA 10. Now you get into 1989 when he was still playing, still active. 1989 Upper Deck base card, number 408 in a PSA 10. 406, excuse me, in a PSA 10. This is a good one because unless you're a Philly fan, you don't know this, but that's Harry Callis interviewing Mike before a game, obviously. PSA 10 Mike Schmidt base card from Upper Deck. Didn't like that Upper Deck started doing partial statistics. His most recent 5 years of stats plus his career line total. Never liked that on Upper Deck. I'm very, very, very much a man who likes career stats on all my cards. So 1989 Topps in a PSA 10. Standard Topps kind of a card. Love it. Love flipping over Mike's card and seeing the Phillies as the only team he ever played with. That makes me smile. 1989 Score in a Gem Mint 10. Like the vertical layout of the Score and the Fleer. I like to be able to just flip over the card and not think which 90-degree turn to make as I pop them open. 1989 Fleer in a PSA 10. 1989 Fleer included an update card in their update set honoring the fact that Mike had retired. I do have that card in a PSA 10 as well, the update one. Haven't bothered to get the glossies so much, but I suppose I could. Interesting that Fleer also would put in the minor league experience of players if there was room to do so. There was room for Mr. Schmidt. So that is a 89 Fleer, Gem Mint 10. And then your 89 Donruss in the Gem Mint 10. 89 Donrusses can be found in 10, but because of the colored bordered, it's a little bit more difficult. There's still dozens of them out there. So 89 Donruss, PSA 10. Donruss also, like Upper Deck, would only do the last 5 years of line stats and then a career line as well. You get into the other 89 cards. There are a lot of 89s because Upper Deck came out in 89, Bowman came out in 89, and Score was in its second year, so the number of card companies really started to explode in the late 80s there. So this is a Gem Mint 10. I do not have the Tiffany version in a Gem Mint 10 yet, but I'm not sure if I will go out of my way to get that. I'm concentrating on the basic set registry. I'm not looking to get every card of Mike in a 10 or even every card of Mike Slad. That's just ridiculous. So there you go, your Bowman, which had some really odd stats. I don't like the per team breakdown. I think that's a little, silly. I'm not sure if anybody really cared, but that's the Bowman. Now you're getting back to 88, excuse me. A lot of 88 tops and PSA 10s. It was a very clean, crisp design, so a lot of 10s came out of 88. Schmidt in a PSA 10 for the 88 design. And of course, 88 score. 88 score, there's a low pop on this one. I always think to myself, I want to get more. PSA 10s, there's like about 50 in existence. And I keep thinking to myself, I should buy them all because a lot of times they come up for sale and it's usually like less than 50 bucks for a PSA 10. That's really a low pop, all things considered, but this is a really nice PSA 10, really well centered on the 88 score. The 88 Leaf. Now this one is almost impossible to find in a PSA 10. I think there's less than 20 of this on the planet in a PSA 10, and that's likely due to the black corners and the blue corners. It's very difficult to find corners that haven't been dinged. So to have this in a 10 was quite a coup when I could find it. It took me a long time to find a 10, and it was kind of pricey when I did, but I got it. Fleer 88. I always love this picture because it seems like he just swung and missed, and he's laughing at himself for being such a buffoon. That's what I see when I see that picture, so I love that image. It's a fun one for me. 88 Fleer in a 10. And lastly, in the 88s, you got the Donruss, which again is the exact same image as the Leaf, similar to Topps and O-Pee-Chee, same images every year. So your Mike Schmidt Donruss in a 10 as well. So that's your 88 through 90. Moving on to 87. 87, PSA 10. 87 Topps. 87 Leaf. Believe it or not, this one's not, you'd think with the black border it'd be harder to find this, but there's more of this than the 89 Leaf in a PSA 10. I don't know why, but the 87 Leaf is not as hard to find, maybe because they were more careful with how they packaged it and the corners didn't get as dinged. I do not know. 87 Leaf, one of my least favorite designs, the blue border all the time. It just doesn't sit well. Never liked it, but hey, what are you going to do? As card collectors, we collect everything, don't we? And then again, the Donruss, same thing in a PSA 10. The black border in this particular case did not lend itself to chipping very well for some reason. This black border, you can get 10s fairly easily. So interesting for some reason there. 86 Topps was a hard one to find because of this black border. So getting a 10 in this one was a bit of a chore. I like that this is in a newer holder. I'm not sure if under today's standards it would get a 10. It looks just slightly off center, left to right, just barely. But that would drop it down to a 9 maybe in today's grading. But this is a fairly modern graded PSA 10. I will take it. The Leaf in a PSA 10 for the 1986 card. A lot of pictures of Mike in his away jersey on a lot of these cards. Don't know why. Fleer 86. Never liked this one. He's just kind of warming up at the vet. He looks uninterested in the camera, trying to go about his business. He looks annoyed that the camera guy's in his face. 86 Fleer. PSA 10. 86 Donruss in a 10. Same as the Fleer, or Leaf, of course. And then down to 85. Getting the 85 tops in a 10 was a bit hard. I think there's a problem with the centering or something in the 85s. But that is my 85 in a PSA 10. Now you're getting down to, in tops cards at least, you're getting into about the $100 mark if you want to get that in a PSA 10 for Mike Schmidt cards. All right, so 85 Leaf is another one that is hard to get in a PSA 10. The pop count is way low. I guess the black borders on this one in the 85 Leaf were not as resistant to chipping as the 87 were, which also had the black border, because the 85 Leaf is also very difficult to find in a 10. But I have that. And your 85 Fleer. I do like the 85 Fleer design. The gray border, for some reason, appeals to me, with the colored variations on the team colors in the middle. So PSA 10 on the 85. Then on the 85 Donruss. Again, same as the 85 Leaf. This is more common, so it's easier to get a 10 out of the 85 Donruss versus the Leaf, because there's simply more Donruss cards than Leaf cards. Moving on into the 80s, early 80s, so 84 tops. Again, when you get down to the mid to lower 80s, the price on Mike Schmidt cards and PSA 10s for tops at least starts getting into the 3-digit mark to get a good one. So PSA 10 Mike Schmidt with the 84 design. 84 Fleer is one of my favorite set designs. It is such a very simplistic design. White border, blue at the top, blue at the bottom, and the team logo in the corner. I just love the simplicity of this design. It's one of my favorite set designs of all time. 84 Fleer, plus it's a bit of a, at the mountain to get that 84 Fleer 84 Fleer Mattingly rookie. 84 Fleer Donruss, 84 Donruss in a PSA 10. A lot of these out there. For whatever reason, Donruss had a good year centering wise, and the 84s, there's a whole bunch of 84 top or Donruss Mike Schmidts with PSA 10s in them. So not a hard card to pick up. Hard set to get because of the Mattingly rookie. That's like the premium Mattingly rookie of that year. 83 tops in a 10. One of my favorite sets. The first set I ever completed when I started going for complete sets. The very first set I finally had all cards of. As the 83 tops, 83 Fleer in a 10. Didn't like this gray. The gray seemed too, I don't know, milky to me. I didn't like this shade of gray on the 83 Fleer. That's a 10. 83 Donruss in a 10. Interesting to note, too, the back seems to be much off-centered compared to the front, yet it got a 10. So it shows you that the grading companies, when they grade cards, tend to focus more on the front than on the back. I'm not sure if that's wise. I mean, if you're a person who wants to brag about having the best card, you'd want to make sure the front and the back are equally centered. 82 tops in a PSA 10. That is a hard card to acquire. It took me a while to find one. I spent a lot of money to get it because it's a lot of centering problems on the 82 top set. And when I was able to find one, I spent a lot of money to make sure I got a 10. 82 tops. 82 Fleer, still Fleer being its very basic sets back in the early days. From 81 through 83, Fleer and Donruss were putting very simplistic designs together. Very simplistic, and there's not a lot of collectors who are fans of those eras. 82 Donruss. 81, 2, and 3 Donruss almost looked exactly the same every year. Very similar cards. Got that in 10. 81 tops in a 10. That's a hard card to acquire. Prices on this guy are going through the roof too. Like I said, you get to the mid 80s and 10s start to shoot up into the 3-digit range on all Mike Schmidt PSA graded cards. The Donruss of 83 or of 81 for some reason had multiple versions. Or the Fleer and Donruss both had multiple versions. So there's the standard one that has said shows him as a home run king, and then there's one that shows him as the MVP at third base, both PSA 10s for Mr. Schmidt. And then your Donruss likewise had 2 versions that are part of the set registry. You'd think that just this one here would be part of the set registry, and this one would be, you know, and they'd look at that as an insert and not consider it. But no, both cards were part of the PSA Mike Schmidt basic set registry, which is why I have that. Now you get into 80. This is the last card I've acquired in a PSA 10. And again, PSA 10 Mike Schmidt from 1980 cost me a couple bucks, but it was worth it to me. Then you get prior to into the 70s, the prices are getting insane to try and get a 10. So for a while we have 9s here. So I got a PSA 9 on the tops. I think there's a PSA 10 that's been up for sale for several months, you know, 2 or 3 years now maybe. Some guy's got a PSA 10. He's had it listed for $4,000 online. Now a PSA 9 just a couple days ago ended on eBay at 80 bucks. So PSA 9s are very, you know, still reasonable. There's a lot of PSA 9s out there, but to be able to get a 9 for 80 bucks and then want 4,000 for a 10, I think that's a little high. Perhaps it would go for $1,000, but $4,000, no. Here is a PSA 9 1978 card. Now, interesting with this one, this is one of the first cards I acquired in PSA Slab because 78 was my first year of collecting. And hey, cool, PSA 9. I think I got this at time for like 25 bucks when I first started building this set. And I think it's dang near $100 now, even in a 9. Really, it's up there. Same with the 77. I have that in a PSA 9. I think that's just north of $100 now for a PSA 9. I think this one might have warranted a little less because it does have a bit of a fisheye in the pink L there. But I'm not going to complain. So my last 9 is the 76. Very happy getting this one. Takes it to a different price point when you get the 9 versus the 8. I think the 8 is going for about $80, $75, $80. The 9, yeah, the 9's a lot more than that. So I'm happy to have a 9 at this point in time. Then you get into the older cards, the last 3, 70, 75 in a PSA 8. It's got a big fisheye right there, another big fisheye down here in the black under the baseball logo, and slightly off-centered, just slightly, not much. But this graded an 8. Getting a 9 is a little bit above my price point anymore. Getting a 10, I wouldn't want to hazard a guess. Here is a 74 in a PSA 8. Centering is way off here, left to right, and a couple fish eyes in the logo. But it's still got me at 8. Doubtful I'll ever get a 9. I think 9s are north of $1,000 for this one, and a 10 is getting close to like 10 grand, something crazy like that. Here is my rookie card. My Topps rookie in the PSA set register is a 7. Now I'm happy to get a 7 for the price I did. I think 8s go for about $1 grand, somewhere between $1,000 to $1,500, depending on the auction. You can get the hammer price down. A 9 is going to cost you near 10 grand for a PSA 9 of this card. And of course, if you're going to get a 10, last time I saw it sold was somewhere around $125,000. So, you know, save your box tops Save your cans for recycling. Maybe in a couple centuries we'll save enough money to get this card. What do you think? Anyway, in honor of Mr. Schmidt's retirement, the annual anniversary of Mike Schmidt stepping down as the greatest third baseman of all time, I do a showcase every year of my PSA set registry and dedicate the whole video to the man. So best of luck, Mike Schmidt, wherever you are. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Please consider like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. Come back again on Wednesday and Friday. We'll have more trivia questions for you guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for stopping by. Come back again soon, and take care.